Drake's new album is pulling some of the lowest numbers of his career, and there's one undeniable reason behind its failure. While many factors contribute to an album's success or downfall, one of the biggest issues with this project is that no other major artists wanted to be involved. In the past, Drake has relied heavily on collaborations to add something fresh and engaging to his music, often compensating for the lackluster energy he brings on his own. However, this time around, the industry seems to have moved on, leaving Drake to stand alone, resulting in numbers that reflect just how much his dominance has faded. Drake is now coming to terms with the fact that his OVO brand alone no longer guarantees success. Without features or industry support, he simply cannot maintain the same level of influence he once had. Despite this harsh reality, he refuses to acknowledge that his reign is slipping. Instead of admitting he has fallen off, he is already working on another project, desperate to regain momentum. The key to Drake's next attempt at reclaiming relevance lies in who he aligns himself with. With the massive disappointment of SSS for Hugh, he knows he needs to bring in artists who can carry the weight he no longer can. And at the very top of that list? None other than J. Cole. As J. Cole gears up for his next era leading up to the fall-off, Drake is reportedly doing everything he can to lock in a collaboration. Cole's upcoming run is already highly anticipated, and Drake sees this as his best shot at reclaiming some of his former glory. He needs someone with real momentum to breathe life back into his career. However, even if Drake secures a hit with Cole's help, his core fans remain in denial. Many refuse to accept that their favorite artist is struggling, despite the clear evidence in the numbers. But the truth is, even Drake himself knows that, at this point, his only real shot at a win comes from working alongside another artist with more current appeal. With that said, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's more necessary than ever. The future of Drake's career is hanging in the balance, and only time will tell if he can pull off a true comeback or if his prime is officially behind him. J. Cole has officially made his return this year with his new track Clouds, and it's making one thing very clear. Despite backing out of rap's biggest beef and ending any debate between him and Kendrick Lamar, he has still managed to keep his career intact. Unlike Drake, who lost everything after collapsing under the weight of Kendrick's attacks, Cole has preserved his legacy by simply doing what his audience wants, delivering elite-level rap. With Clouds, Cole proves that high-caliber lyricism will always be appreciated in hip-hop. His verses, especially in the second half, have already positioned him as an early contender for Verse of the Year. By sticking to his strengths, he's regaining respect and momentum, while Drake, on the other hand, continues to lose both. Right now, Drake remains in hiding, far away from the heart of the rap game and Kendrick Lamar's dominance. While he works on new music, he is also engaging in weak publicity stunts, desperate to find a way back into the spotlight. He knows that his career on the charts, and whatever remains of his legacy, is hanging by a thread. And, as he has done so many times before, he is once again looking to attach himself to another artist who can compensate for everything he is lacking. That artist, of course, is J. Cole. With Cole gearing up for the fall-off, an album nearly a decade in the making, he has all the momentum necessary to cement himself as one of rap's defining MCs this year. While Kendrick has permanently ended any conversation about who is the best, there's no denying that Cole remains one of the genre's most respected figures. And now, as Drake watches this unfold, he understands exactly what sets Cole apart from both him and Kendrick. But will he be able to use this to his advantage? Or is he simply delaying the inevitable downfall of his career? J. Cole has never been one to engage in beefs, hold grudges, or go back and forth with other rappers, especially when it involves someone he considers a friend. He made this clear last year with Port Antonio, a track that essentially extended an invitation to Drake, signaling that he wanted to maintain their relationship despite the tensions in hip-hop. But while Cole's refusal to engage in conflict comes from a place of principle, Drake sees it as a weakness, an opportunity he can exploit to regain some standing in a rap scene where no other MC would even consider aligning with someone who brought paperwork into a battle. Cole has always positioned himself as the nice guy in hip-hop, never taking a firm stance against his peers. And now, Drake is fully aware that Cole may be his best, and possibly only, chance at redemption. Even if Drake felt a certain way about Cole backing out of the Kendrick Lamar beef, his response to Port Antonio tells us everything we need to know. He publicly liked the post when Cole dropped the song, showing that he acknowledged and welcomed the message. At this point, Drake communicates more through social media interactions than his actual music, so even this small action speaks volumes. On Cole's end, he has now officially solidified both Clouds and Port Antonio as part of his musical canon by adding them to streaming services. This move confirms that, despite the initial confusion around Port Antonio, he stands by everything he said in the song. He still wants to be on good terms with Drake. Now, looking at the bigger picture, it's impossible to ignore the state of Drake's career. His recent collaborative album with PartyNextDoor underperformed, making it clear that he can no longer rely on his name alone to generate hype. He now understands that the only way to regain even a fraction of his former attention is by working with every artist still willing to support him. And when you scan the list of artists Drake could collaborate with in any capacity, whether as a featured guest or the primary act, it becomes clear that his options are running thin. When it comes to tour appearances, both in terms of performance and the attention they generate, J. Cole is the one artist who has the potential to help Drake more than anyone else right now. Given how this entire situation started, with them collaborating on a song, Drake and Cole standing together again would at least unify their fan bases. No matter how much hip-hop has evolved, especially with Kendrick Lamar redefining the genre's landscape, both Drake and Cole still have massive followings that are hungry for wins. While this move won't bring them back to the top, it remains a strategic way for them to maintain relevance. One thing that remains clear is that J. Cole continues to be the nicest guy in hip-hop. More than even Kendrick Lamar, he has reassured Drake that he will never turn against him. He has made it clear that he wants them to remain on the best possible terms. This was evident in how Cole closed out last year, with his Might Delete Later series and the 10-year anniversary show for Forest Hills Drive. Both of these events had been planned long before any of the recent rap drama unfolded, reinforcing that Cole is focused on telling his own story rather than reacting to external conflicts. By performing his most iconic album and reflecting on his journey, he was reminding everyone of what brought him to this point as he prepares for the final stages of his career. What we're seeing now is that Cole's plans have remained unchanged, despite the controversy surrounding his decision to step back from the Kendrick Lamar beef. In contrast, Drake has spent the past year reacting to his losses, constantly adjusting his moves based on how the public perceives him. Ever since Kendrick dismantled him, Drake has struggled to maintain his place in hip-hop, whereas Cole, despite dropping a few spots in the power rankings, has held his ground. Last year saw not only Kendrick but several other rappers outshining Cole. Yet, by staying true to his path rather than chasing validation, Cole has positioned himself in a way that ensures his longevity, something Drake can no longer say with confidence. Despite everything that has happened, J. Cole is still in a strong position to succeed and perform at his usual high standards, something that Drake can no longer say. Drake's latest album suffered nearly a 50% drop in performance compared to his previous project, failing in every major category. While Cole remains focused on his vision and stays true to his plans, Drake is scrambling for a way to regain relevance. One key factor in their relationship is that unless something has changed behind the scenes, Drake has already recorded a verse for The Fall Off and is expected to be featured on the album. This was something they publicly discussed on stage while touring together. Given that they collaborated on multiple songs and performed side by side at several shows, it's clear that Drake and Cole were working closely before the rap beef that shifted everything. Now, as Cole returns to his original plans and Drake becomes increasingly desperate for a win, their dynamic is more telling than ever. Drake understands that he can no longer compete with Cole. He has lost too much. His only real strategy now is to realign with Cole in hopes of benefiting from his momentum. This is crucial because while Cole is focused on his artistry, Drake is focused on survival. Looking at where things stand, it's clear that Drake won't be making his way back into the same circles as Cole or the other top names in rap. He is staying as far away from Kendrick Lamar and everything surrounding him as possible. However, despite this distance, it's only a matter of time before Drake and Cole reconnect musically. Whether it's through the fall-off or another collaboration down the line, the two have remained in contact, and we are bound to see more music from them soon. At the core of this situation is the difference in their mindsets. Cole has momentum and a clear vision, avoiding unnecessary conflicts with those he considers friends. Meanwhile, Drake is now relying on strategic collaborations to help salvage his career and keep his name in the hip-hop conversation. Everything is pointing toward Drake and J. Cole teaming up again very soon. When this happens, it'll be interesting to see just how much momentum Cole has and whether that can actually make a difference in helping Drake regain any positive attention. Right now, Drake is doing whatever he can to make a comeback, while Cole is focused on exiting the rap game without getting involved in any more beef. This collaboration could be a major moment, but the real question is whether it will truly change anything for Drake, and how Kendrick Lamar might react, if at all. At this point, though, the Kendrick beef is over. He has already proven everything he needed to and more. In the end, he turned their words into reality. He was the one who became bigger than the Super Bowl. So now, with Drake and Cole coming back together after everything that has happened, it only further highlights how far Drake has fallen. It's almost as if he's repeating the same mistakes that led to his downfall in the first place. No matter how great J. Cole is or how strong of a comeback he makes, aligning with Cole won't truly fix Drake's situation. Drake has been chasing wins in all the wrong ways, and despite Cole's talent and success, their partnership may not be enough to change the narrative surrounding him. With that said, what do you think about the possibility of Drake and J. Cole reuniting? Will it have any real impact, or is it just another desperate attempt by Drake to regain relevance? I'd love to hear your thoughts as we move forward, so drop a comment and let me know. And if you've made it this far, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, especially since Drake fans aren't always happy with what I have to say. Your support has never been more important. Now, if you want to hear more about how Drake reacted to his album flopping and his latest comments about Kendrick Lamar while on